If you are getting ready to plant natives for the first time in your home landscape, then this video is for you. Installing a native plant landscape involves the 5 Ps. The planning phase is a large phase that includes documenting goals, priorities, site conditions, and budget, which are all used to create a design. The second phase is site preparation, which involves removing existing plant material while shaping the area to be landscaped. The third phase is to purchase and install plants. The fourth phase is to amend the soil, including covering the ground with mulch until natives fill in. The fifth and final phase is to pamper the plants by keeping the weeds in check while the new plants fill in and to ensure they are kept wet until they are established. Of all these steps, planning is the phase that is most often overlooked that leads to trouble. In this video, I split planning into 5 steps to ensure you get your native plant install off to a successful start. The first step is to document your goals. I'll caution you that using native plants is too broad of a goal. I'll run through a couple examples of more specific native plant goals so you can see why it's important to have specific goals. Let's start with avian enthusiasts who want to plant natives to attract more birds to their yard. Adding this extra detail is important because it helps to narrow down the best plants for your garden. The best resource for bird lovers is to visit audubon.org. I love this website because it's so easy to navigate. In the top header, select Explore Birds, then select Birding at Home, and finally search for native plants. Next, enter in your zip code and click Search. Now you can scroll down to view native plants in your area, including the birds they may attract. Another example of a specific native goal is if you want to see more caterpillars like this black swallowtail. A great resource for caterpillars is the National Wildlife Center. I enlarged the starting website URL at the bottom of the page. Once on their page, scroll down to the map. Using the key, I see my region is the Eastern Temperate Forests. Next, I scroll down farther and click on Eastern Temperate Forest link for a printable PDF listing of native plants that attract butterflies and moths. For all other native plant goals, I would recommend starting at homegrownnationalpark.org, which is Doug Tallamy's website. At the top header, click on Resources, and there is an option to find native plants and services where you can use the map to find resources near you. Another drop-down is for plant databases with links to the best resources for native plants based on your needs. Whatever your goal is, the important action item is to document it. This will help you to narrow your focus when selecting plants and to prioritize your time to ensure the end product meets your goals. The second step is to evaluate the area. Now, it's impossible for me to list every possible scenario you find in nature and how to handle it. Therefore, I'm going to focus on 6 considerations. First, check the surrounding area. I understand you are focused on your home. However, nature is not bound by your property. So take a look on the other side of the fence. See if there are any invasive weeds that may flower and seed. Considering weeds spread by wind and water, there's a good chance the weed seeds are coming your way, so plan ahead to minimize impacts to your newly planted area. Second, soil tests are one way to help you better understand your soil. Here's a sample report completed by the University of Delaware Extension. They also include resources to help you understand your results. These tests typically take 2 to 3 weeks to complete, so you'll want to prioritize this step. If you're not aware of the University Extension closest to you, then check out the College Partners Directory, which is managed by the USDA National Food and Agriculture Administration. I put the URL at the bottom of the page in red. Once on their website, scroll down to the map and click on your state. Then scroll down again to the very bottom for a listing of extensions in the state. Third is the most common consideration, which is to understand how much sun the area receives per day. I use the Sun Seekers app when I visit other homes because it's nice to have a visual of how the sun moves throughout the day. What I love about this app is that I can change the month at the bottom of the screen to see how the position of the sun changes throughout the year. I'm using my cell phone to make this video, so I'm sliding my finger across the month, and as I do that, you can see the sun location changing. As you look at your area, keep in mind that some spots will have different sun conditions depending on the position of your house and other objects like trees. Fourth is drainage. I recommend checking during a storm to ensure downspouts are working properly. Also, observe where the water naturally flows. If water drains through your new area, then be sure to document and incorporate a fix into your design. The fifth check is to observe the weeds, including their location. There are two goals with observing weeds. The first is to identify invasive weeds, or weeds that will grow easily from cut roots, so you can ensure the proper steps are taken during preparation to limit the chances of the weed returning. The second goal is to learn from the weeds. Remember, weeds exist to fix the soil, so you can learn about existing soil conditions from the weeds that are growing. The sixth and final check is for signs of deer damage. Chances are, if you have deer, you already know it and no special check is needed. I'm highlighting deer because some plants are considered deer resistant, while other plants are considered deer candy. For more information on deer, check out our video that focuses on strategies for deer. Okay, this concludes our site evaluation. The third step is to consider how you currently use the space and how you see that changing in the future. Common considerations are plans to sell the house, growing the family, or adding pets. These changes may impact the size of the lawn and plants you select. For example, if you are adding pets, then you may want to audit your plant list with the ASPCA to know if the plant is toxic. Their list can be sorted by dogs, cats, or horses. Towards the top of the alphabetical list is American holly, which is a native plant. Since it's on this list, we know that it's toxic in some way. Now, I'm not saying you should avoid this plant or other plants on the list. I'm just highlighting this is a great resource if you are concerned with toxic plants, and it also includes watch signs if the plant is ingested. Okay, now it's time for some fun. It's time to create a design. Now, I have other videos that cover landscape designs in depth. For example, the first step is to collect measurements for your base map, which is covered in this video if you're not familiar with the process. After that, the next step is to create a plant list and to funnel it down to select your plants. My most popular video on landscape design is a complete design example to walk you through this process. Lastly, I have a playlist of native plants if you want to learn more about native plants prior to including them in your design. Okay, that makes a quick design section and moves us to the fifth and final step, which is the budget. This step includes 3 actions. The first is obvious and straightforward. You need to determine how much you are willing to spend on the project. Second is visiting a nursery to determine how much it will cost for plants and materials. You may find that plants you wanted are not available, and you can make the decision to either switch them or to wait for the plant to become available. The third step is to determine if adjustments are needed. If, for example, if you have extra funds, you may decide to make the area larger or to hire a contractor to complete part of the work. If you do not have all the funds needed, then you may decide to split the design into pieces to be implemented over multiple seasons. At the end of this step, you'll have a realistic, implementable landscape design that fits your budget and is ready to move to the prep stage. Leave a comment to let me know how your planning went, or if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to Soil Shepherd's Regenerative Landscaping channel. Thank you.